Bro, what are you doing here so early? It is way too soon for you to be here. Fuck! Alright, so despite my extreme displeasure with the weather outside, we still have a beat breakdown video to get into, so let's get to it.
So, as always, I like to lay my my melody down. So for this one, I originally wanted this to be a piano melody, right? I had a piano in mind. I knew this, what I was putting in here was gonna sound good, as a piano instrument. But I started fucking around and went on to one of my expansion packs in Omnisphere. It's 808 Mafia one, and I put on what is it, Guitar Miami, and what it ended up sounding like was this. All right, so a great way to approach making your melodies, especially if you're newer to making beats or you're not very familiar with music theory, is to go ahead and create a clear channel in the channel rack. Nothing needs to be in there, and go to the piano roll. And first thing you want to do is hit this triangle button. You're gonna pull down this drop down menu, go to helpers, make sure that ghost channels right here is enabled. So you can do that or just hit Alt V for future reference. Then what you want to do is come here to this button, make sure that only one is unchecked, which it already is. So then you want to come down to melodic scales, and you can pick any one of these. It literally does not matter. I personally like to stick with the minor natural or minor melodic, but again, it does not matter. So now when you come into the piano roll and you want to, pick the key of your song, so C sharp, for example, like what I did in this beat, it pulls up all the notes that are in the key of C sharp. So that's obviously very helpful. So what you can do is hit shift to copy everything and now just pull it up an octave. And we went from C sharp 4, now you're going up to C sharp 5, maybe go up even one more, and probably pull one down to, you don't have to, it's a little overkill, but basically what that actually does for you is now when you go to make your melody, say in like Omnisphere or whatever you're using, you can actually see all the notes here. So that's why we enabled the ghost notes, because we can see them. If we didn't enable that, these would not show up here. So that's obviously very, very helpful when you're creating your melody. Oh, and big thing, forgot to mention, go back to this and so make sure this is now checked. So make sure only one is checked now. The first time you try and click in, it'll still do that, but now, as you can see, it just individually clicks in your notes. Otherwise, like you just saw, it's gonna click in all the notes for that key. All right, so next thing I added was the counter melody to the guitar. So usually when I'm making a beat oriented around a guitar melody, I'll do like vocal chops, vocal samples, flutes, pianos, violins even. So for this one, I ended up doing a flute. It's within Arcade, and it's called Northwest Passage. So what you want to do is make sure you change the key in Arcade to the same key of your beat. So again, C sharp, make sure that's in C sharp minor. And then you just start, screwing around in here. And after a while, I came up with this. All right, and then for the last 8 bars of the hook, I decided to make the melody a little different. Again, that just kind of helps add a little variation to the beat so it doesn't get stale or boring after a while. So that's a real easy little thing you can do. So the second part of the melody sounds like this. All right, so the next thing I added was an ARP. Again, Electra is one of my go-tos when I'm using ARPs. They just have a lot of good sounds. For this one, once again, I used another Guala Beats expansion pack. Shout out Guala. And a little melody tip you can actually utilize. So what I did is I just went and took the top notes of the guitar melody. So like these notes right here, didn't use these at all, or even like these top ones here. So I copied those and just put that into the Electra sounds. So after I did that, and also I threw halftime on there too, it came out sounding like this. All right, so the next thing I added was the 808, and this one's actually for my free drum kit. It's one of my go-tos, and all I really do for that, I mean, you just want to make sure that you right-click and hit cut itself so that it's not, spilling over, and it actually ends when you want it to. And then I go in here and I mess with the legacy option. So first thing I like to do is go to the pre-computed effects, hit that. I put the boost up to like 5%, basically till it's just starting to clip a little bit. I'll go here. You always want to, I always turn these down, like delay, attack, all that stuff, and just have the hold all the way. So basically that just means if you have the 808 note this long, it's only going to play for that long. It's not going to like keep going after this original note right here. And then yeah, all you got to do is just take your 808 and put it down with the root notes of your main melody. So the main melody, again, these are your root notes, the bottom notes, right? So you just can take your 808 and just follow that. So that ended up sounding like this. Alright, so next thing I did was added the kick, and this one is also in my free drum kit as well. I like it quite a bit, use it often. As you can hear, it hits pretty hard, and it just blends well with the Spins Junior 808 and the normal Spins 808. So what I used to always do is sometimes, I'll punch it in here in the channel rack, or I just put it in through the piano roll, but I'd always leave it on C5 because that's where it just automatically will go. What I think you should do is actually match it with the key of your song. So for example, our key in this song is C sharp, the 808, the root notes are in C sharp. So you just take that and just, match it. So now the kick and the 808 actually blend a little nicer. Because there's a lot of instances where the 808 will be in a different key than where you're putting your kick, which again will go in C, and it just doesn't blend well. So yeah, the kick and the 808 together sound like this. Alright, so next thing I did was added the hi-hats, and I actually did two different patterns for this beat. I have this pattern here and then this pattern here as well. I like to do that sometimes just to give it a little bit of a different feel and bounce. Again, you don't want your beats to get repetitive, and doing something as simple as literally just two different hi-hat patterns can help a lot. So the first pattern sounds like this. Alright, so here's the second hi-hat pattern, which is obviously a little more complex. I utilized some hi-hat rolls, and in order to do that, if you don't know already, you just hit that button and you'll go to 1/6 step, 1/4, 1/3, or half, doesn't matter, and just kind of let the beat play out and listen to where you want to put the hi-hat rolls. And in order to do that, all you gotta do is put it down like that, or draw it out like so. You'll hit Control, then hit Control U, and bang, you got some rolls. So let's hear how it sounds. Alright, so next I just started to fill the rest of the drums. Obviously adding the clap, sounds like this. Alright, you get the point. Then I add a snare. Alright, and then from there I just start filling out the rest of the drums with some other little sounds like shakers, open hats, perks, stuff like that. If you have like a really complicated melody, I would say take it easy on the drums and just kind of make it more simplistic. But if you have more of a simplistic melody, then yeah, I'd say go crazy on the drums and add a whole bunch of shit to, give it that bounce. So the drums all together sound like this. Alright, so that's basically it for the beat, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you stuck with me until the end here, I also hope you learned a thing or two. But I'm gonna shut up and just let the beat play out. So catch you guys in the next one. Later.
Hey, Fourthkind, you out of here.